Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I'm going to be talking all about the new prestige system that's available in Black Ops Cold War. Treyarch and Activision did a full reveal today, not only for the Black Ops Cold War prestige system, but a whole lot of global changes for the franchise, and I'm going to try to go over them as quickly and as succinctly as possible. First up, we did get a launch date for Season 1 of Black Ops Cold War. That is going to be on December 10th, which is about a month after launch and is kind of where we predicted it would be. This is also going to be the launch date of Black Ops Cold War Warzone. So on December 10th, that's when the new Warzone map or experience or whatever it's going to be will come out. However, we do get Nuketown 84 for free on the 24th of November, which is roughly 2 weeks after launch. So you'll have launch day, 2 weeks later we get Nuketown, and then 2 weeks after Nuketown we get the new Warzone experience, so it's good to know those timelines. Now let's talk about the prestige system. Treyarch also had some surprising announcements about progression, battle pass, and prestiging, which we're going to work into first through the progression and XP system and then into the prestige system. So the first fact is that progression and battle pass rewards link across Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War, and Warzone. And what I wanted to clarify here is not just that the battle pass is unified, that you can grind any game for the battle pass, but rather that grinding any game will level you up in the other ones. So if you want to level up in Black Ops Cold War, you can play Modern Warfare 2019 and your experience will go toward leveling that game. Same with Warzone. The experience in Modern Warfare 2019 can even unlock you weapons in Cold War or the new Cold War Warzone experience. This cross progression, however, does not start at launch. The cross progression starts on the beginning of Season 1, which is December 10th. Until then, it's just the normal, Cold War experience stays in Cold War. However, when it does launch, we are all going to get a rank reset. And I think that this is going to make some people mad somewhat arbitrarily, but the plan is to reset the initial ranks of everybody that has played Modern Warfare 19 and Warzone to avoid confusion, because you don't want to be like level 300 in Modern Warfare and level 25 in Black Ops Cold War, but we have a unified system and we have to kind of get that together. So we're putting everybody back at 0 for all 3 games as soon as that new season launches. But you're not going to lose any unlocks, you're not going to lose any rewards, your weapons don't go away, your attachments don't go away. It's not like a hard prestige or like an account reset. They just change the number and you get to keep all your loot, which I think is a good compromise. And of note, Black Ops Cold War will have more challenges and easier ways to gain experience at launch. This may not be the fairest way to do it, but it makes sense. They want to advertise the new game, they want people to be hyped about it, playing and experiencing it, so of course the more rewarding challenges would be in the new content. And at long last, let's talk about the new seasonal prestige system that's going to be coming to Black Ops Cold War. You have the basic level 1 through 55 system at launch. So the game is going to come out and it's going to be just like every other Call of Duty game for the first month. It's going to be level 1 through 55 and that's it. There's not going to be any prestiging until Season 1 starts. However, once Season 1 starts, we're bringing in a lot of crazy stuff for seasonal prestiges. You will still get to prestige to your first prestige, so you hit level 55 and then you enter prestige number 1, but you don't lose any gear or unlocks. The Treyarch team felt that a lot of people were avoiding prestiging because they would lose all their guns and perks and attachments and stuff, and to be honest with you, I was in this boat too. There are very few games that I fully prestige on, so when you prestige in this new seasonal system, you don't lose any of your unlocks. After your first prestige, prestiges are 50 levels each, so 1 to 50, 1 to 50, and every time you go up 50 levels in this game, then you get to go to a new tier of prestige. The second prestige, once you complete it, will give you a weapon blueprint completely for free, which I think is nice. You grind 100 levels, you get a free weapon blueprint. That's fair for any season. Each season is going to have 4 main counted prestiges, so this is 25 plus levels of prestiging without losing any weapons if you play over the course of the entire year, but you still have plenty to grind for. And so far this sounds fair to me, but I know that there are some super grinders out there that are probably saying, well, I only get 4 prestiges every 3 months. That doesn't sound very fun. Well, it doesn't actually stop at 4 prestiges per season. I think that's where the main rewards or the main counting stops. Once you enter Prestige 5, this is considered Prestige Master. Once you've advanced beyond Prestige 4, you are given the title of Prestige Master for that season, which would be anybody above level 200. And once you're a Prestige Master, you can continue leveling Master Prestiges all the way up to 1000. And each 50 levels is some kind of new reward. They weren't super clear on what that new reward would be or how it would work, But that means the more you grind, the more rewards you get, and you're going to be getting them in a very predictable fashion too, instead of loot crates, which seems to be a good idea. And of note, you won't be Prestige Master next season. When Season 1 ends, you're going to have to Prestige 4 times again, and then go into Prestige Master for the next season. So there's a lot of potential leveling here, up to 1,000 per season, which is kind of nutty. And this wasn't officially announced, but I imagine that it's going to keep track of seasonal prestiges. It's going to keep track of what like prestige you hit per season, or maybe have special rewards for somebody that was a Prestige Master for all seasons, kind of give them like an ultimate prestige reward, which I think could be really fun. Now, the next bit's a little bit of a pun. Each prestige level will give you a prestige key. Prestige is key. Content creator, friend of mine, I think this is what the system was named after, but you can take your prestige keys for completing a prestige and you can spend them in a special shop in the store, which at launch is going to offer legacy prestige icons. So I'm assuming that means I can buy old Black Ops and old Modern Warfare prestige icons. So if I want to rock the COD 4 prestige icon, all I have to do is earn enough keys to buy that and use it in the new game. As of now, that's the only reward they've talked about. We don't know if there are other rewards you can buy with your prestige keys, but I think that's a really good way to give the game sort of an alternative currency or a grinder currency. Maybe you could buy COD points with prestige keys. Maybe you could buy special golden skins or something like that. I think it would be a very good idea. And then finally in this video, we need to talk about what's going on in Warzone. Weapons and perks from both games, both Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War, are confirmed to be usable in Warzone. However, you can't take Modern Warfare weapons into Black Ops Cold War, and you can't regular multiplayer 6v6, and you can't take Black Ops Cold War weapons into like 6v6 Modern Warfare. The sharing only happens in Warzone. And in Warzone, the Create a Class menu is actually going to have labels on each item so you know what game it is from, and I assume that this is to help you avoid any mix and match errors, because to the best of my knowledge, you still can't mix and match your classes. Like, you can't have perks from 2 games and weapons from 2 games all in one class. You kind of need to choose one path or another, though that's still not exactly set in stone, and I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense to share the loot pool for Warzone, since both games share that for their Battle Royale, but it doesn't make sense to take Modern Warfare weapons into Black Ops Cold War, because that would be kind of like time traveling. That'd be like taking weapons 40 years into the future to go fight people in the past, and that wouldn't be quite fair, though I don't think our assault rifle technology has significantly improved since the end of the Cold War. On top of this, Warzone will support operator unlocks from either game, so you can use your Modern Warfare operators or your Cold War operators, though like the weapons, you can't take Black Ops Cold War operators into 6v6 multiplayer in regular Modern Warfare. The sharing only happens in Warzone, except for Woods. Since Woods was part of like a pre-order bonus and a rewards package you could unlock, Woods gets around. You can play with Woods in every single game, which is kind of neat. Cross-title invites for Activision friends is coming, and what this means is if you're playing Black Ops Cold War and your friend is in Modern Warfare, you can actually see them on the Activision friends list and invite them to your game, and they can just join cross-system without booting or rebooting or doing different things. It's not really reliant on PlayStation or Xbox or even Battle.net invites. They're building their own Activision invite system, which is nice. I think a unified system is good. But that means if you're playing Warzone, I can see what all my friends are up to and all their various COD games that they're playing. You level up normally across all systems. You have cross progression. If you're playing on PlayStation and you upgrade to PC, then you don't lose your levels. You get to maintain everything in the same kind of way of, let's say you're like a PC player and you want to log in at a friend's house and try out his new PlayStation 5. You don't actually lose any of your unlocks because it's cross progression, which I think is just absolutely lovely. And anybody can join any system from anybody. You can have, it doesn't matter, there's like 7 or 8 consoles. We've got a couple of different PlayStation 4s, a couple of different PlayStation 5s and Xboxes and PCs, and maybe even cloud services at some point in the future. But the plan is that everybody can join every system. PlayStation 4 can join PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 can join Xbox One and PC all in the same lobby. It's true full crossplay with no exclusions as far as I'm aware, except for this little exclusion at the end that I'm about to talk about, which is kind of the only bad news today. Treyarch said it had made no plans to cut or remove content from older systems, but it can't promise immediate access for everyone if technical issues arise. I think what's happening is that Treyarch and most game companies right now are really struggling to optimize their games to run on hardware that's 8 years apart from each other. And their current plan is that everybody, regardless of what system, if you're playing on a launch day Xbox One or whatever, the content is supposed to work on your system, and everything that they're building right now is supposed to continue to work on your system. However, it's a long development road ahead. We're still not super familiar with new consoles. Nvidia's dropping new cards. People's older consoles are going to get older and dumpier. It's going to be harder to optimize everything. And they added this as a little caveat, we're going to try our best, but there may be delays for some systems, and regrettably, there may be some future features that are permanently not available. Now, everything that's been promised at launch is coming to all systems, but in the future, it's going to kind of depend on optimization. And that is a little bit of a cop-out, but it's one that I understand, because developing for like 10 different total systems is incredibly hard. You can see even the Cyberpunk team is struggling with that. Guys, that is all for today's video. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.